Okay, welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review episode number 50. Yep, and some of you are probably wondering, wait, wasn't your last video you said it was 47? Well, there's actually a reason for that. There was a typo. Yes. Apparently, when I did episodes 18 and 19, apparently I put the episode number down twice for 2 straight episodes in a row. Yeah, it kind of screwed up the numbering for the episodes. It took me a little while, but I fixed it. Yep. I basically was noticing as when I was looking up, like, what special I need to do for the next chapter of the manga. So I went back and I fixed it. So that's why now this is officially the 50th episode of my anime review series. And this one, covering the last 2 episodes of Season 4. And thank God these episodes finally came out. We only waited like 3 weeks after the last dub episode was released. Yep, 3 weeks. Now, these episodes cover chapters 186 to 189. And pretty much, they do that 190 almost the entire chapter except for the last, like, couple pages of the chapter, and they loosely adapt a little bit of 192 and 193, which all that does, it just helps it up basically in every next season. Starts out with simply this: basically, Eri is now staying at UA because they want to save her quirk, and she needs to be at the hospital forever, and basically her only living blood relative is in a coma, so he can't legally take care of her. So stay at UA, and like, we see that all the big three are here, which is great to see them. We see that Frappe, Otaku, and Deku become very close to Eri. I wouldn't be surprised if Eri saw, like, Deku as sort of like a big brother, and kind of like Otaku and Frappe is kind of like her big sister. Heck, Frappe notes that Eri has Eri's hairstyle similar to her little sister. Yeah, it was hinted at in the second OVA of the series that, you see, her family is like her. They have all, like, frog-like powers, and because her parents are not around very much, she has to end up taking care of her siblings. Though I tend to wonder, though, like, who takes care of them during the week when she's at school during dorms? Yeah, that's never explained. But after this, we get the characters of Class 1A reunited with the Wawa Pussycats. Yep, and the one member who had her quirk stolen by All For One, yeah, she's here, except she's no longer being a hero, she's doing office work now. And there's also word that All For One really wants to get back her quirk for some reason. Apparently he's got, like, a whole boatload of quirks. What quirks he has, don't know. They don't really say. And of course, we see that their nephew is there, Kenta. And apparently he's bought shoes like Deku's. Yeah, he has red shoes. And the fact that he does... And of course, and they actually end in the episode with Deku. When he sees Kenta, he just runs over to him. He's like, I was so happy to see you. Like, I love your lair. I treasure it. And he doesn't, like... It's pretty faithful to what they do in the manga. And then, like, right after this, we have... pretty much we have the upcoming... The Japanese Billboard chart. Yep. Basically, the ranking system, how they rank heroes. Now, here are the rankings. Now, number 10 is the Dragon Hero. Yep. Let me take it out here, because they actually have it here in the manga as well, because they present pretty similar to how they present in the anime. Let me see here. Where is it? Alright. Number 10 is Ryoku. She's the Dragon Hero. We have number 9, the Equipment Hero, Yuri Marushi. Number 8 is Wash, Kurami Woods, who actually was named back in the pilot episode of the series. He's number 7. Crust is number 6. Mariko, the bunny hero who made her anime debut at episode 86. She's ranked number 5, and still is this very day. Eggshot, the ninja hero, is number 4. Best Genius is number 3. Hawks is number 2. And just like in the manga, it's no real shock that Endeavor is number 1. And mostly put, this particular scene is presented exactly the same as the manga. Like, they introduce all the heroes. We see Mount Lady is basically... There's a slight change here. Now, in the manga, it looks like that her partner is, like, off this side. And yet here in the anime, it's presented like she's, like, behind her. And it's also mentioned that there's like a scandalous thing of her and the number 8 hero being in a couple, being in a relationship. She doesn't confirm anything. Oh yeah, the Wawa Pussycats also mentioned the rank number 32. And they say the reason why they're ranked so high, despite the fact that they haven't been really active because of the popularity poll. Which they actually love the fact that they're so popular online. Yep, and then of course you have the announcer go one by one through every single person, say very quick. Then we come to like number 6 basically really wants the crust, he wants to really chime in, but he keeps stepping on what he shouldn't do. And we get to Hawks, he gives this really great speech, which I'm glad they kept it from the manga, which it would have been stupid for Studio Bones not to keep this awesome speech. The fact that he basically goes off the cup, he basically says what he wants to say, and he hands off to Endeavor. He says, well, number 1, basically, you say something. And he says, I don't say anything except just watch me. And then we cut through this hilarious thing where in the manga, it's not basically intended as in the anime. They actually start talking just before they go in. And he is like so flamed up, like, oh my gosh. His whole face is covered by freaking fire. Which, yeah, this is not intense as it was in the manga, like, oh my gosh. So, basically, Hawks basically want to become a leader. And he mentions about the Nemu stuff, and come by his hometown, work on do a team up. It's like, okay. He comes by, and we see like a brief cameo by a book from Destro. Yeah, the whole point of this being here in the anime, that has helped set up the Meta Liberation arc, which comes 2 arcs after this one. Yep, and they just walk about. Of course, they take out a streaker. They got some other minor criminals. Yeah, Hawks basically is using his feathers basically make people basically just basically be very popular. And we see a character who I have no idea why Bones did this for. And appearance wise, this guy looks exactly like Natsu from Fairy Tail. And for some reason, I guess Funimation was like, hey, this character looks like Natsu. Let's get Todd Hepburn in here and voice his one minor character. So we have Todd Hepburn for the first time ever in this series. And apparently this character is a big fan of Endeavor. He appears in this episode, he appears in the following episode, but that's it. Don't know what this character's name is, just a character with pink hair. Yeah. It was either that, or he probably saw this because Hepburn has never done a character in the series that I can think of. He probably saw that character, probably wait to, hey, I got it. He's probably thinking, okay, he was on the Dragon Ball series, like in Kai and Super. He probably really wanted to get on My Hero, or probably someone wanted him on there. And probably a lot of people probably mentioned to him that he's never been on My Hero. Well, now he has, voicing this one character who looks exactly like Natsu from Fairy Tail. Yeah. They even dyed his hair pink. In the manga, I don't know what this character's hair color was. It could have been any hair color. But my only guess is the reason why Bones probably dyed his hair pink. And this is just my personal theory. Probably because of how popular Fairy Tail is. And people knows, and probably my guess is Studio Bones probably knows how popular the English dub is for Fairy Tail. So they probably think, okay, this character looks like Natsu. Let's dye his hair pink. And then once Animation probably saw that, like, Hepburn, voice him. We have some lines for you. Well, thank you. I guess it's a wish basically I've had for a while. Have a Hepburn part of the cast. Though I kind of wish he voiced one of the regular characters in the series. I mean, who could he voice? I don't know actually. I mean, I can't think of it. Would be cool for him to voice is maybe the Dr. Robotnik look like. It'd be interesting if he voiced him. That would be cool. But he already has an English sub actor because he made his debut in the My Hero Academia movie, the Heroes Rising. So you could think. Now here's the thing. This episode 87 is technically considered to be Hawks' actual debut because technically he made his first appearance outside of the manga in the Heroes Rising film that came back in February. This is technically his first appearance in the main series. Not the first time I've seen a series do this, where they use the character in a movie first, then the actual series. The only series I've seen do this was actually in Case Closed, where they used the character Nick Santos in the very first film of the Case Closed series before they made his first chronological appearance in the main series itself. So, yeah, Case Closed beat My Hero Academia for that particular factor. The Hawks himself doesn't really do very much in the Heroes Rising film. It's great to see the guy, and Like, I like the fact that Funimation had his dub actor from the movie reprise his role for the actual series. Of course, Stahls himself, I got at least got to praise him for giving the same essence of performance that he did in the movie. He brought that over with him for these 2 episodes, which got hands to him. He did a great job with that. And so, after they get into the restaurant, which there is actually a slight change here, because in the restaurant, they go to the restaurant and get some food. Now, in the original manga itself, the actual scene is presented exactly the same, except they do make a change here, because this is a Japanese-style restaurant. It means you have to sit on your freaking legs, which, for me, that is so uncomfortable to do. So, Bones changed it to basically where it's like a regular table and regular chairs. Pretty much appearance-wise, the scene it plays out exactly the same. There is like no other change aside from table and chairs, which I think for a lot of people is fine, because my guess is even for basically someone who's basically American, seeing that, like, I'm sure for Japanese it's perfectly natural for them to sit like that, but for me, sitting like that for a long period of time, especially eat food, is so uncomfortable for my legs, and my legs probably get a cramp from sitting on my knees for so long. So, in my opinion, great change. I'm not sure how the Japanese public feel about this particular change. I'm sure they probably probably don't care. Yeah. So basically, he gives details about the case that he wants to work with the whole Nemu stuff. And despite the fact he doesn't have much evidence, there was like, check please, I'm out of here. And of course he gives more info. And then we actually have, from what I can tell, still the same scene, like a waitress was like, he was like, wait, stay right there, don't move. And then we have a Nemu smash to the damn window. Of course, is stopped by frickin' Endeavor, and they proceeds to go outside and start fighting him outside. Which this fight lasts for several chapters in the manga, which they actually end episode 87 with this start of this fight, and then this fight continues in the very next episode. Of course, while this is going on, we see his estranged wife with his kids, with Shudo's older brothers. His older brother and sister, which, by the way, Deku does meet these two in the Endeavor Agency arc, which actually takes place before the film that came out. It takes place before the film that came out just earlier this year. Yeah, that's when Deku and Bakuno first met them. And it's great to see his characters here, and we finally get a chance to hear what exactly Shudo's mother's name is. Her name is Ri. Like, that's a nice name. And I like the fact she actually talks now, because previously she didn't talk very much. You see her, but she's never really spoken in the series. And I appreciate the fact they finally have her actually speak. I'm sure my friend Tim basically be happy to see that. Yep. And of course they talk about how Endeavor's actually kind of visited his estranged wife, but they haven't really spoken to each other. Probably because of the past, because of what he did to her and his whole family. But he does at least drop off her flowers, just to be nice. And basically, when the whole fight between Endeavor and Nemu, it's very similar to what happened with All Might versus All for One. It's very similar. There is some collateral damage, like a good chunk of it, but it's not like as huge as it was back in season 3, which got at least praise it for that. And at the pretty grueling battle, of course, during the battle, Endeavor gets gets his face cut, which that scar is still there, even by the Endeavor Agency arc. So if you read the manga, like at that point, you're probably thinking, wait, where did he get that scar from? This is the arc they got it from. And then basically comes back, basically destroys Nemu, and stands tall with fist in the air, which is very similar to when All Might defeat All for One. And that's where the episode ends, for the most part. And then we have a post-credit scene, where it loosely adapts stuff from chapters 182 and 183. We have Deku in bed, in his PE uniform, and he's dreaming. And they actually don't have any dialogue here. It's mostly Deku covered with this black stuff, and he sees all the previous hosts, including All Might's not there, but he does see, he sees All Might's mentor. And we see, I think it's supposed to be the original host taking down some other person. There's not much of dialogue exchange here. Deku sees this, and then the episode ends actually adds something that's actually not from the manga. They don't see this. when Deku wakes up, his window breaks and part of his room's been partially destroyed, and his hand starts like trickling, like he's activating his quirk, and that's where the episode ends. Wow, what a way to end the episode! These 2 episodes really good. Great starts to Pro Hero Arc. Now I read a line like what the next season is going to cover, season 5, which I think ends with to be continued in season 5. Which yes, season 5. Which I guess for a lot of people, I was talking to people about this. It's no surprise we have a season 5 because of how big and popular the anime is. So not that all that's surprising. So my guess is that the season itself probably will finish up the Pro Hero Arc first, because there's not much out of it. My guess is it'll probably finish up probably in the first episode or 2, and then pretty much spent a majority of season 5 on the joint training arc, which that's probably what they are going to focus on this next season. And maybe start the Meta Liberation arc, which that arc is freaking long. If you wonder how long that arc is, it is roughly 33 chapters. Yeah, which makes it the second longest arc of the entire freaking manga. I mean, it's almost as long as the current arc of the series. Yeah. Alright, now before I get to the actual chapter itself, final thoughts on Season 4. This season overall was really good. If you wonder like how much of the manga it covered. Yeah, I own all the manga books, so I can show you all. Yeah. If you're wondering how much it covered this much of the manga. Like, pretty much what they did is they pretty much went through the rest of this book here. Cover the entirety of these books, basically. That was 14. 15. 16. 17, which has Lamillion on it. 18. 19. 20. And they kind of, in a way, got halfway through 21. So yeah, roughly covering about 8 books. But how many chapters per se? Well, they started with chapter 122. That's what they started with. This season kind of ended with basically kind of like 189 per se, because that's how much fully they adapted too. So they adapted roughly for just a 26 episode season. They covered, let's see, I think that's roughly about 68 chapters. Yep, 68. Well, covering 2 partial others. Yeah, 68 chapters for one season. It's not bad for a particular season. This covers roughly mostly about 4 story arcs. You have the internship arc, which also known as the overhaul or Shiagasa arc. It's under like 3 different names. And then we have there was like a few other arcs they had. They had the Remember the Course arc, which was done about 3 episodes. And then we had just previously the arc that wrapped up with 86, which was the Kyue Festival arc. It's like a 6 episode season. And this arc is roughly covered like the last 2 episodes. I kind of thought though they were going to just not cover that much. But I was so surprised to cover this much in just 2 episodes. Yeah, covering the first 9. Like, they roughly covered about 6 chapters in just 2 episodes. So, in case you're wondering how long the actual arc is for Pro Hero Arc, it's roughly 10 chapters. So, my guess, next season, they'll finish it up. Yep. Season 4, really damn good season. Can't wait for Season 5. Now we'll move on to News Chapter Manga. 275, and Counter Part 2. Chapter starts off with Todoroki looking at the basically she has Shockwave. We see that apparently he's using a quirk from the Wild Pussycats. We have a cover image of a Razorhead and a cat. And then we see Deku and Bakuto basically just like running after Todoroki. And yeah, they both go after him, of course. And Deku's like, "What are you calling? What are you doing here?" Yeah, and so they basically chase it across rooftops. They pretty much just run across, and they run for quite some time. And then they come across Todoroki, and he's about to basically almost dissolve them. Of course, it basically looks like he's starting to dissolve them, because powers look like it's going. He's like hand over one for all, Izuku Midoriya, and then Deku was saved by Gran Torito. Yep. Yeah, he's like, when I heard one for all overcomes, I had a bad feeling. Were you kids looking to scrap with that thing? And of course, they mentioned that his thing can obliterate anything it touches. As you don't stand a chance, but listen, us heroes aren't out of the picture yet. And then we see the dragon hero Rizuku take him on, and he touches her, and it looks like that he may have actually just touched her arm, and nothing. Like, it's not showing exactly what happened to her. Like, maybe it killed her. I'm not sure. And Endeavor's like, don't you dare lay hands on my students. I think I get to look like he saved her from being touched. Yeah, Endeavor basically fire off. He says, don't lay a right finger on my students. And Soroku's like, you are really cool. Pretty cool, Razorhead. Next chapter comes out June 26th. Like, June 26th, like, okay, that's quite interesting, though, the fact that, now, that's roughly in 12 days, which, okay, that's quite interesting, though, the fact that next chapter's not coming out next week, like it was is for One Piece, but this one has to wait 12 days, like, he'll wait, like, not this coming Friday, but the following Friday, which, like, that's interesting. Why did I wait that short period of time for it? Why 12 days for? Why not next week? I don't know. Maybe there's a special holiday. Maybe because it's Father's Day. It's possible. But One Piece will release a new chapter next week, but not, well, My Hero Academia. But in the case of this anime review series, well, it's going on hiatus. Well, basically, I'm still reading the manga for specials, but the main episodes, yeah, they're going on hiatus until when the season starts up, which I've heard possibly it's going to start this coming October. How long the season's going to be, no idea. My guess, probably 26 episodes again. I'm looking forward to season 5. I saw a promotion which basically look like Deku's. Look like we're going to go for that. I'm looking forward to next season when it comes out. Okay, so that's it for the review. My next review, when I put it up, will be a review of news chapter of One Piece. Okay, see you next video. Bye.